This is a court, by the way, that rarely Roger will play on, a court this fast. I mean, it's a great serve still. It's not just the first serve, it's also the second serve. I mean, he's unafraid to go for that. Maybe 130. Missed it.
First game brings them to their feet.
Serve if he can. Do they have Hawkeye tonight, Ted? They're paying all the money to their players.
The other point, John, that just jumped out watching the tape of their Wimbledon in their own.
Well, also remember the next year they changed the grass, slowed it down quite a bit. That's just a beautiful shot.
So here comes a big game, and it's what Pete talked about this afternoon. Of the old bit of that magic, yeah. The hold he very much needed.
Fastest courts I've seen a match on. It is really going.
Let's
get some rallies. See, you can see how nervous Pete is because he's not moving his feet yet. Roger's got the more comfortable slice. Does it more often. But he's not going to look to come in a whole lot on it. He easy motion, doesn't put a lot of strain on his body. There's what Pete talked to me about a couple hours ago. Is a lot of
there's that little backhand. 1,000 here for Federer and Sampras. This event sold out in just 3 weeks, and it's
had to give him a waiver. That he had asked permission for them to play this is, to me, is worrisome. They could make an argument this wasn't good for the sport. That'd be hard. Well, find himself. Get a couple breaks like that, maybe get back in this first set. He's won it, I think. That's the one he's got to make. And he had him right where he wanted him. He said in the interview, he's a little uptight there. There we go. He guessed right there, the ball right back to him. He doesn't have that extra pop on his serve. This is pretty much what you're going to see from him. That is the shot there, the forehand that is phenomenal. He's not going to get worse. He'll get better if this lasts.
Well, Sampras has managed after the opening break to hold 3 times. How in many ways they are similar men.
That's nice.
Yeah, Roger of net.
He did again too to try to enjoy it a little bit more, everything he accomplished. I mean, it is beautiful to watch a guy. First of all, his strokes are.
Which Andre, of course, did, but Andre took some little hiatus or two in the midst.
Andre was exceptional in the sense as we look at their career here, which you're not going to see other guys with stats like that. That's for sure. Roger will become the greatest if he wins the French. I mean, he's still got a couple more chances to do that. That's the difference. He's already even with Pete. Let's see how hard he tries here to get the break. He's not enjoying this, Pete, a whole lot yet. This isn't second rate by any means. That's a miss hit that goes in. Start thinking about staying back a little bit on a serve or two.
Is that just to mix it up?
Just to mix it up, get himself.
Oh. And boy, that's really. When you see the stats, Roger really hurt Pete on Pete's second serve in that set.
Start doing that if he gets some type of lead.
And Federer just.
I think it saved him against Nadal in the finals last year. Pete's just not moving well right now. That's the problem. There we go.
Year that the women's year-end title was played here.
I didn't think they could top the mistake of the men's. But
this is a New York crowd tonight. Sampras overhead again. Parts with Brad Gilbert. He's playing well.
Who needs a coach? Back to the old days. And he flattened that out. Caught a line. Caused them in the early days.
It's Battle for Tennis History. Visit the website you see there, stargamesinc.com.
We talked about that slice. That's what he thought it was, but you got to blame somebody.
I don't think I can remember seeing Federer showing us his ups like that.
I don't. This is the classic Sampras overhead here. Jumping off both feet.
Time capsule shot.
Many a player were the recipient of that, where he dared you to go up the line so he could just crush that ball cross court. He's so strong up top.
Yeah.
He still lifts a lot of weights. He's...
All right, correct me if I'm wrong here. I was watching that match.
See, that's not a good bounce. I know there was topspin on that, but that,
Yeah,
beyond the call of duty. That is the greatest kick serve in history.
Federer takes advantage. and holds a tough game.
Gathering of two champs. In the nick of time.
MSG Plus being christened tonight. The Sampras Federer post-match show presented by Buick. To call. You know, Federer was still 19. He had not yet turned 20 the day they played that match. Pete, now he wants the bone.
What's he? I mean, come on, what a complainer.
Yeah.
Wait, I've seen that before.
I thought the #1 record was going to stand. I thought 14 was going to stay for a very long time, very long time. And little did I know Roger was going to, really dominate what he's been able to do the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, I just knew that the combination of those two things, it was going to take someone that was willing to sacrifice more than the rest, like I did. And I think Roger, with his team in place, has sacrificed. He's obviously a great player, but it's a lifestyle choice, and he's consumed with tennis like I was, and that's the way you have to be. But I really did think that 14 was going to last a while. It's been about 7 years, and we're just about done with it. But the #1 record, he'll break that. So he'll break all the records.
John, one thing that is a constant in any sport, whenever someone breaks a career record, the last ones are always harder than people think they'll be. They're going to be a little tougher for Roger?
I would think so. You just said a couple minutes ago that we were saying he'd win a couple majors. So
and you said that.
Just sitting here right now with 5 in a row.
So
and he lost Ted first round the following year at Wimbledon. You can see what happens when it catches the line. He's had a situation a few games ago where the ball bounced over his head. Now this one skidded lower than he thought it was going to be. So the odds of a break of serve, if things keep up like this, aren't good.
No, they just showed Pete's replay on the board here, and then they flashed to Roger with that smile on his face on the big board here.
Pete's saying, please, come on. And maybe the outside of the line. You got to give me that one.
He's looking up.
Yeah.
He wants the challenge.
Challenge. Here comes the first challenge. That could have been a little wide. Rogers even saying it was out. Don't let me have the point.
He's putting that right into Jay Snyder.
He's asking for the point to be given to Pete. When's the last time that happened?
Jay Snyder rejected Roger's offer.
No, he didn't.
He did give it to him. Okay, you're right. 15 all.
I don't think Pete even saw that ball. We need what time are we on to, Ted? That caught the line. That's a nice serve there. Unreturnable.
Pete's winning just barely over 50% at net, which probably again harkens back to your you picked this up at the locker rooms, how tight he was.
And because of the tightness, the movement hasn't been what he expected. And his confidence is a little bit shaky there. Plus, we talked about the strings being different. He just wants Tiger to go out and play. Pete plays some pretty good golf, I know that. I don't know about Tiger, how often he plays tennis.
There you go. Right to Tiger. That's good.
And that is some shot. This ball caught the line, but Pete's wondering how in the world he could have just done that.
And you know that Federer was not as well known. He hit shots that would make you shake your head.
Andre talked about that when we saw him in Roger at the Open when he came up, about the hitting zone being all different locations and how people just aren't ready to, the opponents aren't ready to see the ball come back. Roger's giving away
souvenirs.
The balls,
A good group of youngsters just on courtside. That so Roger is feeding those tennis balls.
He's gonna nail him. Don't get Roger too upset.
How many Grand Slam titles are in this building tonight?
It's pretty nice.
Isn't it something?
You see it, we all gather together. Minutes, so you feel like there's still a lot in the tank if you can sneak out this tiebreaker that's coming up. Should have pulled this out. There's that cat-like quick enough with it hit the winner. That caught the line. That was a much-needed return. So, taste of your own Madison. That's a big serve.
Well, we're going to go to a third set. Pete Sampras found enough of his footing to get this match to a third set, much to the delight of this Madison Square Garden crowd.
And the commentators, don't forget those guys. He's also got the advantage of serving first. So if he can get this hold here the first couple times, then Roger
set.
He's in a bit of uncharted territory in the sense that he has played That is some shot. That is a great shot.
That's the acknowledgement. Okay. All right. I know you're good.
Look at this, though. I mean, that ball is slicing away from Roger. He caught that on the inside of the ball to slice it away, which he did. This is, Roger wants this, break here.
To hit that shot.
That's it. as Bjorn would say, no chance. If get into a lot of long rallies, he might get a little more confidence with his ground game. But it doesn't get any bigger than that, a forehand, and he unloads that. But he's not.
He just does not. He does not believe that the grass is slower. When it's the game, the style of the game has changed. Everybody.
Roger's also in a different situation than he. If it's 56, maybe might be down to 5 and 7. Pete's giving him the point now. We don't need any linesmen. Where were these guys when I played? So that fictional referee. Maybe next time we'll have a real one. That's the fact he couldn't train as hard as he wanted because of this sickness. He kept getting sick. He looks good now.
A nice touch in net from Sampras. He is unbelievable.
That would be hard to duplicate.
Given that the next best number after that is 4, 10 to 4.
But then again, I would have thought that he's missed a couple pretty easy shots, and Pete's got a chance to break them.
Wow. Well, that was not what most expected.
Accomplishments that he wasn't going to go out there and just blow him off the court if he could. Enough to stay close. But now, you know, he's all of a sudden.
Wow. Federer doing the running. Not many do that to Federer. Suddenly, a little different spin on this.
Yeah. And notice how things have changed.
Wow. And don't you see it, John?
Where he could just serve it out in 2 games. And I felt like, on the one hand, Andre had obviously probably celebrated a bit his win. He just won that. Maybe I can win one since I'm not winning a whole lot, right? And I know that he wasn't too happy at the end. He lost his edge is what happened, you know, which is what's happened right here.
Oh, Federer's forehand long. And listen to this response at the Garden.
It seems like I'd be surprised it was physical. And then all of a sudden he's just hammering.
Pete Sampras.
Look at bouncing again. I mean, he did have that 24-hour play.
%, just about unreturned.
Not on this court, the way Pete serves. I mean, he's not going to play on a court quicker than this, with some pretty tough bounces, too.
And you've commented that multiple times in the Andy Roddick Federer matches we've called.
the low part of the net.
There's that block return you're talking about.
And Federer showed a little emotion as he stays in it for the break. 12 years the Garden hosted the ATP season-ending Masters.
We talk about cutting it close. Now he's giving Sampras what he's done so often. Make opponents miserable. 4 in a row. We're getting the whole package.
So Sampras with another hold and our NetJets showdowns.
I think it does. I think if they didn't see the first hour, it definitely did. Whoa! Where did that come from?
Sampras asked the same thing.
He's got to watch this, the replay to believe that angle there. That ball really stayed low. Feathery touch. He wasn't making those shots early in the match. Tougher to change directions again as you get old. Roger looked here like there was a sweet little shot up the line for the winner. He guessed right. Despite the score, Roger looks to be enjoying this a lot more than
Pete. And of course, those little smiles too tell you it's not a grand slam tonight. You know, I wonder, does Pete feel like he's already won, just getting to a third set tiebreak?
I think he may have seen Pete sort of. Then these guys, Pete being an exception, but these other guys just start staying back because 5-all third set break. It's taken a long time, but Roger Federer finally has a match point.
Pete gave him the extra look there.
Nope. And Federer prevails. But now, this sold-out 19,000 house at the Garden, most of them stand in appreciation of what these two great champions just gave them. Champions applaud champions.
Class all the way around.
Nothing wrong with tennis tonight.
I think, Roger proved he knows how to, handle a crowd and entertain as well. I mean, we got everything we could have hoped for. And Pete dug deeper.
Yes.
He dug a lot deeper when he really needed to.